Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Rocky Mullendorf, PGA head professional here at Travis Point Country Club. And today I'm going to give you my best tips for improving your tempo and your sequence so that way you can be more efficient every time you swing the club. Player after player tries to make adjustments to their swing, and when they try to integrate that new change into their swing, they go about it the wrong way. They go too fast. The key to learning a new movement or a new feel is to start by going really slow and gradually picking up the speed as you gain control of the movement. Just like driving a car, it's hard to add control to speed, but it's easier to add speed when you have control. Here's my best tip to learn great tempo, great sequence, and get the most control of your golf swing. If you think back to the absolute beginning of your learning process as a young person in school, kindergarten, preschool, etc., we do a lot of things very deliberately, very slow. As we get older, we inherently think that the results should come faster, and the approach to learning shrinks and shrinks and shrinks until we really don't get a chance to ingrain the new movements or feels that we have because we're going too fast for our body to even recognize what's going on. In my tempo drill here, we are going to go so slow that your body has no choice but to identify where everything is in space so we can coordinate this movement and strike at your best. When I went to college in Florida, I remember going to some of the professional tournaments in the area. I remember seeing Charles Howell III hitting driver on the range 100 yards in the air. He was swinging as slowly as one could possibly swing, as if it were slow motion, and the ball was coming straight out of the driver face, but it was only carrying about 100 yards. And I started asking around, inquiring about what he was doing out there, and I learned that he can go through his entire bag and will do that before rounds oftentimes to really sync up the movement of his swing and to feel like he's getting the best control. Eventually, he'd let it all out and let the driver fly 300 yards, but as he was building his way through his bag and getting his body warmed up, he was going so slow with the driver it only flew 100 yards. So we're going to start right now in first gear with my slow motion swing. Ball number one, gear number one, slow-mo. Straight down my target line, about 80 yards. I'm hitting a 7-iron right now. You can really hit any club you like, but I'd suggest starting with something that's a short to mid-iron. Now we're going to go to swing number two, gear number two, where we pick up the speed just a little bit, and this one should fly somewhere in the range of 100 yards. Gear number two. Ball travels a little further, right down my line. It probably flew closer to about 110 yards. All right, now we're going to shift to gear number three. Third ball, speed's going to pick up just a little bit. The progression of speed continues. The feeling at address of the balance. My setup feels solid. My balance to start feels great. I'm going to swing right into a great balance finish. Gear number three. Right down my line. That one flew about 130 yards. In gear number three, and my 7-iron flies about 175 yards when I'm giving it the full treatment. So ball number four here should go probably around 150 yards. And I'm just gonna continue to just gradually build my speed. Same. Now I'm just gonna pick up the speed to gear number four. Perfectly struck down my line, about 150 to 155 yards. Now I'm going to give ball number five, gear number five, my full swing speed. Won't be quite 100%. I usually play probably closer to 90, 95%, and don't really get to 100 very often. Feel that same feeling at address. Gear number 5, full swing. Balance feels good, strike was good, right down my target line, about 170 yards or so. What that progression demonstrates from 1 to 2 and all the way up to 5 is if I can just gradually feel a little bit more speed throughout the entire chain of my movement, then I'm going to get to my full speed and I'm going to have a great ability to identify where the club is in space and what my body feels like at those positions, so that way I can deliver this club efficiently and effectively every single time. Thanks again for tuning in today, everybody. I appreciate you watching. As always, please click on that subscribe button if you haven't already and hit that alarm bell so that way you can be alerted every time I put out new content each week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.